Joining me on India First, Lieutenant General Satish Dua. He is former Kashmir Corps commander. Incidentally, he was the Kashmir Corps commander at the time of the surgical strikes. Charu Pragya represents the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Congress, of course, has distanced itself from Digvijay Singh's statement, and we have Syed Asad Abbas, the political analyst. He'll give us the Congress Party perspective on the broadcast. But my first question is to India Today's executive editor, Shiv Arur, who joins us on the show. Shiv, you've written very extensively about the surgical strikes and the Balakot air strikes. In fact, you've spoken to the team that carried out the operations across the surgical strikes after Uri. Shiv, is there evidence? Does Indian Army have evidence of the surgical strike? Give us proof, says Digvijay Singh.
You know, Gaurav, if I didn't know better, I would say this is sabotage by Digvijay Singh. It is political stupidity of the highest kind. It has led to all sorts of jokes with people saying, has Digvijay Singh joined the BJP? Why would he bring up surgical strikes at a time like this? You know, especially on Parakram Divas. You know, one can ask all manner of questions, but there will always be those who say that it is a serious question. Why hasn't this question been answered before? Well, the fact is, you know, when it comes to parliamentary standing committees, certain meetings with the opposition as well, I'm sure information of some kind has been shared. But the very nature of Special Forces operations, whether pre-2014 or now, those details are not shared. They are not meant for the political space. And the reason why 2016 became such a big political hot potato is because the government had decided specifically to announce it and reveal it to the entire world. Now, I happen to be, one of only 2 journalists in the country who has interacted with not only the commanding officer of the 4 para during the surgical strikes, but the officer who was awarded the Kirti Chakra, second highest, gallantry medal for that particular operation, in which 38 terrorists were killed, in a series of launch pads. And I can tell you that they have all manner of proof, video proof, data, electronic intelligence, photographs, all manner of proof. And this is not just one person. This was 4 separate teams of Special Forces who had gone in there. So, you know, asking for evidence of this, especially after it blew up in your face just a few years ago in 2019 and 2018, smacks of either a complete failure to understand how sensitive this issue is, or to completely misread the mood, around the surgical strikes. You know, one can argue that questions of this kind ought to be asked, Pulwama, surgical strikes, Balakot, etc. But the fact remains that what is Digvijay Singh really trying to achieve here? What is his real role here as far as the Bharat Jodo Yatra is concerned? Looking at it in that context, this is basically political stupidity and suicide in my view.
Okay. Let me then take this, Shiv. Stay with me for a moment, but let me take this to General Dua. General Dua, you were commanding the Kashmir Corps at that point of time. Sir, did a surgical strike take place? Does the army have any proof? Or is this, or as Digvijay Singh says, झूठ का पुलिंदा है, कुछ भी बोलते हैं राज करने के लिए?
Gaurav, I'm at loss for words. Like you said, I was the corps commander when we did this bold operation in retaliation to their attack where we lost at Uri, where we lost 18 soldiers. Now, it's a parliamentary democracy, our country. And perhaps, I'm not going to get into politics of it, but anyone can ask questions. But when the questions have been answered by the authorities, by the government, the DGMO, the Director General of Military Operations, comes in full uniform to a press conference and announces that we did this. The whole country is taking ownership. I think that all the questions should have been answered by just that statement itself.
Okay.
And when Balakot, when the Jabhat of Balakot happened in response to Pulwama, the air chief, he did not make the announcement, but air chief came on national television and said that this happened and this was the operation and this was launched on the terror camp. When this sort of a thing happens, I think it is sad that questions should be raised after that. It demoralizes the forces.
Okay.
Why? it demoralizes the forces because India, Indian Army, Indian Armed Forces are totally apolitical. It does not matter which party, which political party is in power. And not only do their duty to their best, they risk their lives to carry out these
Oh,
operations.
absolutely.
And after that, if questions are being raised for very different and petty or political reasons, I think is not fair on the armed
Okay.
forces.
Syed Asad Abbas, petty political reasons. Should the government give proof, or has Digvijay Singh carried out a surgical strike on Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra?
Well, Gaurav Saab, you just couldn't get better and articulated than that. As a matter of fact, I truly think and agree with my friend Shiv Arur that undoubtedly Digvijay Singh is playing on the side of BJP. He's being a Trojan horse, cutting a sorry figure for the Congress and the Rahul Gandhi. Also, let us understand that why is Digvijay Singh so embarrassing? You know, calling out not just that, saying saffron, terrorism, to this, to saying that forward-thinking women who wear jeans and t-shirt vote for Rahul Gandhi, so on and so forth. I truly believe today that Digvijay Singh is a Trojan horse. Not just that.
So that's a very grave allegation to level without evidence. That's a very grave allegation to level, because in a democracy, it's the job of the opposition to ask questions. And Charu Pragya, why is the BJP government not showing proof to Digvijay Singh and the Congress party? He's accused the Narendra Modi government of running the country through lies, half-truths and absolute lies, ma'am.
Gaurav, good evening. And please give me some time because I want to go through a little bit of history. Now, Digvijay Singh is the same person at the time of 9/11 attacks in Mumbai who said that this was carried out by the form of a RSS ki sazish. And what did Congress government do at that point of time? Push papers. They literally wrote letters and left it at that. There was no retaliation for precious Indian lives lost. They left it at that. But when the regime changes, we understand how powerful political will can be. And we proved it with these surgical strikes. Now, it doesn't matter which side Congress is on anymore, which side Digvijay Singh is on anymore, because this proof has been given not by Modi ji, not by Bharatiya Janata Party, but by our honorable army, by our brave and valiant leaders of the army, also by the Pakistani government. What more proof does he want years and years after the
Gaurav
surgical
Saab, I
strike?
have a counter to Charu, if I'm allowed.
No, wait, let me finish.
The moment she
I'm not
completes,
done.
I'll come to you, sir.
Yes. Can I please finish this? You know, we see other Congress leaders trying to get the narrative back on track, but the fact is this is not a one-time offense. This offense has been done by Congress leaders repeatedly, including Mr. Gandhi. So if the Pakistani Prime Minister says Bharatiya Army khaufnak hai, we heard it on your show just now, Gaurav, what does Rahul Gandhi call the Bharatiya Army? हमारे लड़के पिट रहे हैं. इस तरीके की भाषा का जब आप इस्तेमाल करेंगे, you put down the valor and bravery of our men who literally sacrifice everything to guard their motherland and all of us. Also, Congress very conveniently sides with the army and makes its distance from the army. Let me just finish. I'll be very quick. You will remember, Gaurav, Lieutenant General Hooda ji was at that point of time leading the surgical strikes. Congress got him on board boasting about his credentials when they wanted to put together a task force to discuss internal security of India. So when you want to use the army to boast about the kind of
Very
people
interesting you point that, and Syed Asad Abbas, that's a very valid point that Charu Pragya raises, that when the Congress party wanted a task force on security, they got the same General Hooda who was Army Commander, Northern Command that time.
And they spoke about
And
it
now,
everywhere, Gaurav.
Digvijay Singh questions the surgical strikes and perhaps even the airstrikes.
I'm glad that my friend Charu raised this point. The fact of the matter, we need to understand that even during UPA rule, there were post-border counter operations which were taking place time and again. What happened with the BJP? BJP rubbished all claims of the UPA, saying that where is the proof? What proof do they have? They even called out for an RTI.
Let me bring in General Dua. Let me bring in General Dua on the aspect of proof. Let's just settle this issue of proof once and for all. General Dua General Dua, will producing evidence, whether it's pictures or other details, will it compromise future operations? If there are pictures, put them out in public domain. Let the world see, General Dua.
this is not any other ministry. We are not showing productivity of a particular organization or a body. This is national security we are talking about. Special forces operations. If some videos or some proof is actually put out, this will compromise national security. This will compromise our modus operandi. This will compromise our future operations or jeopardize perhaps our future operations. We will place the lives of soldiers who may have to undertake such operations again at risk. The point I'd like to end with is to say that what proof do you want? Do you want bodies to be brought back? I mean, as far as, that's very filmy to expect some kind of proof, because any thing more than that has already been given. I'm sure at certain levels, in like somebody said earlier, in some committee level meetings, some proof has been shared, but it is not in national interest to put it in public domain.
Okay, you're saying it's not in national interest to put it in public domain. But Charu Pragya, what stops the Prime Minister or Defence Minister Rajnath Singh or even External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to take top opposition leaders in confidence and give them a briefing in the South Block war room and show them pictures there and tell them don't talk about it in public, but this is proof?
But tell me something, Gaurav. When has any kind of detailing which has been given to them in the past also made any kind of a difference to them? Like I'm saying, this happens to be a political party which is always caught standing on the wrong side of the border. It could be the Pakistani side or the Chinese side, but they always forget that they are Indians and they should be on this side of the border. Every single time they forget that. And I want to ask any Congress supporter, because I don't see an official spokesperson on your show if they are listening to you, what have they done about these kind of comments which repeatedly come from their leaders? Has Rahul Gandhi said that what Digvijay Singh ji said, I do not agree with it? Have they removed him from his official post in the Congress party? Like I said, these kind of comments are repetitive, and it's unfortunate that they have come on a day like today when we wake up celebrating India, we wake up celebrating the Indian Army, we are celebrating Parakram Divas today. Here we have a Prime Minister who's naming islands after the brave men of the Indian Army. And on the other side, we have a leader of the Congress who's apparently, supposedly on something which he calls the Bharat Jodo Yatra, where he's hell-bent.
Said last 30 seconds, did Barack Obama give any proof that Osama bin Laden had been killed and buried at sea? Barack Obama simply made a statement. Here, you had General Ranveer Singh, be the DGMO, who made a statement of surgical strike, and yet the Congress want proof. Does that show, as the BJP argues, the Congress has no faith in our army or our government?
Gaurav, I completely attribute this towards you. It must be India first to all the respective parties. We might have our differences, but when it comes to India, when it comes to the motherland and the army, the national security, it must be one word and one voice. Asking for proof with your own brethren is not the answer. So therefore, Digvijay Singh must not be attributed to the whole of Congress. And therefore, we must understand neither the BJP or the Congress must question each other on national security. Stand must be sacrosanct. That is the way to go, sir.
Because you heard General Dua there that showing any evidence could impact future operations. Remember when Air Force also went and bombed Balakot? People said, where is proof that so many terrorists had been killed? And on India Today, we got you one Pakistani leader after the other crying their heart out that India had carried out airstrikes in Jabba, Balakot, Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. General, I will come back to you. I've run out of time on this part of the show, but this is a story we'll be tracking very closely. Politics on national security, should that very strictly be avoided?